Right, this is Kerry Stellar from In the Girls Corner and MMAUK, and I'm here with Kenny Foster, and we're going to talk a little bit about his fight career, his upcoming fights, what he's got going on, and get to know a little bit about Kenny. So tell me a little bit about how you started fighting and started doing mixed martial arts.
Yeah, so basically, I was like 18. I was wrestling in college, Division II at Carson Newman in Tennessee. I was on scholarship, but I ended up going ineligible. I was having some, some grade problems and stuff. I was just, getting a little trouble up there. But this was like 2004 during the Liddell Couture era, and I remember MMA just caught like a wildfire, and I was like, man, I'd like to do that. I lost my eligibility. I was going to the wrestling practices, but you still want to compete and shit. So I found a local promotion. I got on it. Two actually. That back then they had like Tough Mans, and which was a pretty wild thing. They only had like two weight divisions. It was like light, heavy, and up, and middleweight and down. That was a pretty cool experience. And then these fights in Kentucky, and that was a good time too. But after that, I was like, man, I love this.
When did you get into professional mixed martial arts? Because I know that you've been fighting a very, very long time. 2004 that's arguably a long time. When did you get professional?
I think that was in like 2008 or 2009. It was when I moved back to Long Island. I'm actually from Long Island, but I grew up in Georgia, and I moved back up here, and in my opinion, we're kind of in like the mecca of it all. I'd say from probably like Boston down to like DC. I get it's just a lot of tough guys. So I figured that might be the way to get the best training, and I got up here, and then really wasn't long after that, I was able to get away then with going pro, but I was still pretty raw.
You fought for some of the biggest organizations out there. You fought for CES, Bellator. What has been your not most favorite but best experience fighting in a professional or amateur? Because I know a lot of people have so many different experiences from so many different organizations, and there's a lot out there.
I guess they're I got a million stories, but that times that were special to me, fights that were special to me. I guess like the most rewarding to me would definitely be like the Bellator tournament debut. I fought a guy, Eric Larkin. He was a Division I wrestler, NCAA champ. I was an 8-1 underdog, and I called my own shot in the fight. I went in, did what I said what I was going to do. I got a finish, and it was just a really great feeling for me, my camp, a lot of guys. We, put in a lot of work, and that was a good feeling, But I also had some real funny stories, like as the sport was evolving and coming up, there was a time I was fighting in like Baxley, Georgia, South Georgia, and there was like down there, you get like brush fires sometimes.
Yeah.
So like we're riding into this town, and there's just like black soot all in there, and we're just riding in. I mean, you could barely see, you know what I mean? And we're like getting down the road. Out pops like this big, like it almost looks like a barn, like a warehouse. They're holding the fights in there, and
in the middle of nowhere.
Really, I mean, it was off like a pretty desolate highway. It was mostly like the townies and stuff that came out to the fight. And, honestly, I was a college, I had a big ego. I thought, I was like, I'm going to, no problem. You know what I mean? I went in, and, it was the same day weigh, and I get in, and I'm wondering who my opponent is. I see him, he comes in, he steps on, the kid's a stud. He's just jacked. He's a tough guy. I see the cauliflower, the rest. I was like, oh shit, I got to fight him. We're going to be fighting. All right. And, it ended up being like a really good fight. I got the win. But the main event's coming out, and, I remember they were serving a lot of alcohol all the time. They were getting, good and loose, Well, the main event's walking up to the stage, and one of the guys jumps out of the crowd and fucking whacks him, hits him. But he hits him, and he hits him right in the throat. And I guess it caved in like his, caved his throat in. So they had to give him a trink right there, man. They had to rush the medics in, and, I'll never, how the hell you forget that, And honestly, from the fight, too, like, I was still, like, it was actually a pretty good battle, and, you know, I was like having trouble looking at the lights. I remember being out in the stands, you know, kind of celebrating with like friends and family and just seeing it was just like a whirlwind. I was like, what the hell is going on out here? You know, like this is just crazy. But yeah, I'll never forget that, you know.
That is pretty hard to forget, one of your first fights, seeing someone get traked right in front of your face.
Yeah, right.
Dinner and a show.
Yeah, you got to watch your opponent and the fans out there.
Absolutely. You know what? Sometimes you actually do. People get a little rowdy.
They get in, yeah. Well, you know what? And that's another thing too. I enjoy fighting. You know, like New England and stuff. I know with it just having got legal here, you're always in enemy territory. You know. But I noticed like last fight, you know, I was in the New England area in Rhode Island, and you know, I think there's a rich fighting tradition there, and you got a lot of people that come out and that just like to watch fights, you know, but they get behind their guys, you know what I mean? So like, you know, I tell my people, you know, I hope they are, you know, respectful for the most part, not to get in, you know, not to like disrespect the other fighter and stuff, but you know, it gets heated, you know, you're watching your guy, your people, you know, it gets heated. So, but you know, I kind of like that too. I think it's good for the fans, good for the people get into it.
I was going to say that you have you're very extroverted personality, which is definitely something huge for the sport. You need that. You need to be out there. You need to get your name out there. You need to be high energy. How do you get there? Like, how do you are you always on this high energy level? Is this always Kenny Foster? You always on?
Yeah, it's weird. You know, like yes and no. You know, at work I just stay. You know, I'm in the zone. I'm focused and everything. And you know, I get here. Some I like. Yeah, I'm passionate about it, and I'm just happy to. Yeah, I'm happy to talk to you, to fans, to whoever is listening. You know, this is my fighting career, and the whole thing has been an important part of my. So yeah, I love sharing it with people and people getting into it, and yeah, I think it's cool. So
how now I know you're planning a fight coming up in September. How intense does your fight camp get leading up to a fight, as opposed to, you know, a regular everyday training where you're here, you're there?
Well, you know, I think at this point, you know, I just turned 32, and nothing's new. You know, I'm not trying. You know, like I remember like getting into it. Like I didn't have as much of the coaching aspect. I was young. I was just really raw, really tenacious, and athletic, talented. You know, a pretty talented guy, I thought, and my thing was, you know, like I wanted to, you know, I remember like, you know, a wrestling mentality, and I wanted to run sprints and do Olympic lifts and then go spar 5 rounds and do this and that. And it was just, you know, you take a beating. Now, like, you know, I'm focused more into the technique, you know, and just, you know, being poised, fighting like a veteran, and, you know, more like it's like riding a bike now, you know what I mean? I've had, you know, a lot of camps, and I just want to perform out there. So I think everything's just preparation for the big day, going through the motions, staying healthy, making sure I'm, you know, I'm getting 5th gear when I need to, you know what I mean?
Get in there and get it going.
Yeah.
How do you find a balance between, you know, being a fighter and having your everyday life and having a normal life, whatever you want to call a normal life?
It's funny. Yes, I'm in the Union, Local 7, Tile, Marble Terrazzo, my peeps.
Local 7.
I'm saying, like, I guess like, people, you know, that's a pretty common question. Like, man, that's a hard job. You get off work, you go to the city every day, get off work, and then you gotta go train. And like, well, yeah, you know, like, I don't think they understand. Like, people like, oh, you're not training twice a day anymore. But I'm like, man, where I do it's like doing CrossFit all day. You know, and not to mention, I'm in New York. I'm a New Yorker. You know what I mean? I'm not like, I'm fighting just for a seat on the train. I fight all day. You know, I'm fighting from 4:30 in the morning, you know, right till I leave work. You know, a seat on the train, on the subway. You know, you're always on your toes. I'm busting my ass at work. So I come here. This is like sanctuary to me. I'm like, finally, I'm training. You know what I mean? Work's the hard. I'm here. I love what I'm doing. I like work too, but you know what I mean? It's like,
it's your away time.
It's work. Work is work, no
work.
matter how you slice it. You know what I mean?
True.
Work is work. So,
it's true. And
yeah.
I mean, you can like your work, but you love doing this.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said for doing what you love and being great at it, you know? What what drives you? What's your inspiration to be, you know, at the top level that you're at? Because not many people make it to, you know, a professional level. It's not the easiest thing in the world, and it takes a crap ton of work and a lot of dedication.
Man, I feel like it sounds so corny, and
No, it doesn't. I don't even know what it is, but it doesn't.
and you know, if my mother and father, why don't get a big head, especially you guy. I'd have to say my father, you know, he's 52, 53 or something, whatever, you know.
Something.
I watch him, and he's like a machine. And all these guys, you know, commuting from Long Island, like robot, and they get up in the morning, you know, they're out the door at 4:30. We're in the car, we're on the way to the city. Then you're on your knee, you're laying I mean, man, just the blue collar, these gritty dudes in these unions and construction workers out here that just, man, they fight every day to keep their head above, you know, to survive. It's survival out here. It's expensive, and it's, you know, it's tough. And these dudes are wolves, man. They're tough dudes. And I'm in there, you know, and it's funny as if I look and I don't, maybe it's just me, you know, you always naturally just size people up, you know what I mean? You get in a room, and you're like, man, see a guy, you know, little dude carrying, you know, 2 boxes of tile and bags of sand up flights of stairs at 7 in the morning after he got off the train. You know, he just really started opening his eye, and you're like, yeah, man, it's a hard life. It's a good life out here, you know, a nice quality of life, but it's tough, man. And I definitely do it for those guys. You know, I watched my father do it, and that's the toughest bitch I know, you know what I mean? So
he gets it from his dad.
Yeah. Mom's tough too.
I love that. You got to get it from them, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, what you know, I know you said that you were talking about Chuck Liddell and Randy Couture, which are obviously influences in your fight career and your life. And
absolutely.
What advice can you give to some young people that might know who you are, or people that don't get and are now going to know who Kenny Foster the fighter is?
Oh, I got some good advice.
Bring it on.
You know, like me, you know, I don't know. I think the sport was still really developing, getting more and more legit, getting more depth. You know, so I had a really big ego and a lot of pride, and I fought anybody, you know, anytime. Like, you got to get groomed, and you got to learn. I don't think it's like regular prize fighting, like it's as much of a young man sport. You know, you got your phenoms and guys that come out and they're just, you know, whatever. But, like, you know, let yourself get groomed, get brought along, you know, like the money, the marketing, all the whatever it is you're looking for, rewarding in that sense, it'll come, but you got to win fights. And it, you know, and fighting at an elite level, I think it takes time. So you got to allow yourself to be groomed, to learn, to get better. And, you know, don't get rushed into things. Just let yourself develop. You know, if you're talented, man, the wins will come. And when the wins come, the money will come, the sponsors will come, you know, everything will come with it. But you gotta let yourself grow, you know. That's definitely my advice, because I went the opposite, you know, and I got in Bellator, and, you know, I got a couple paychecks, and it was, you know, it was the most money I had in my account. You know, I was looking in my account, seeing 20, 30 grand, you know, I'm like, holy shit, you know. I got a motorcycle, I got an apartment, a big screen TV. I thought I was balling, man. It was like, and then I was like, you know, wow, that shit goes pretty fast, you know, like when you don't have it coming in more, you know, all that consistent, you can't live off of, you need to fight again and fight again. And if you get injured or something happen, you know, work, you know, definitely get a job, work, or go to college, whatever you got to do, and train and let yourself develop and grow, you know, because it's not just a physical thing either. It's mental, you know, that fighter's IQ shit they talk about, it's real, you know.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
real.
Absolutely. I am friends with you on social media, and I do follow you, so I see everything that you got going on.
All right.
Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about you, Kenny, outside of fighting? I don't ask this question often, but because you have such a great Facebook and your social media presence is awesome, tell everybody a little bit about what you like outside of fighting.
Outside of fighting.
I know it's a tough one. It's like,
you know, yeah, that is, you know, because really my day's so consumed with work and then coming to train, there's just like there's not much going on other, I wish I had like something cool to talk about or something, but I guess if like I had a hobby or something, and I hate to say it too, it's like throwing myself under the bus a little bit, but it's food. I've probably eaten everywhere on Long Island. Like I'm big. I look at any app on the phone, anything, and I really love going like trying different restaurants, foods. I ate it. I got like my spots nearby. When I get into camp, I get into camp. I cut all that shit out. But at a camp, I'm an animal. You see me. I need the calories. I'm not worried about going to eat a meal. So yeah, definitely doing that. I'm a big New York sports fan.
That's what I was getting at.
I bleed green. New York Jets. I love the Mets, the Knicks. Unfortunately, I grew up in Georgia, so we didn't have hockey there. Actually, toward the end when I was leaving. But I'm starting to get into the Rangers. But I root for all New York sports teams, but Mets, Jets, and Knicks. I'm a big Jets fan. And, I really hope to get on maybe when Bellator comes back around or I make a run here and I get it, maybe like somebody will like comp me some Jets tickets or something, like just something.
Tickets? I have a hookup. I'll let you know.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
I got a little hookup for that.
Yeah.
I got you. What was I going to ask you about your sponsors? Who do you have? Who do you want to thank between your sponsors, your family, your friends, training partners, the gym?
Really, I would definitely, I think Maxum, all these guys here at Maxum are just, and I'll say, I'm not being cliche or anything, but I could come in here, like we, obviously, if anybody follows the gym, we got some tough fighters here, some good guys, and we're doing some big things this year, it's been a really good year. So it's definitely great to come in and get workouts with those guys. It's very beneficial. We're all a little seasoned, and we come in and get, nice workouts and everything. But I gotta give props to all the guys. Normally you go in a gym and whatever, you know what I mean? You take some classes, do whatever, but we got a lot of high-level jiu-jitsu here. And you know what? Like the general public, the guys that come in and just train here, I could come in and I could get a workout. I could get beat up a little bit they are good, and I can always come in and learn from those guys, and they're always down for me, man. If we got competition side, I could put something on it. Man, I could have like 5 guys here ready to roll, ready for me to give me a workout, and that just means a lot, especially having to work and stuff. So, my coaches, Joe and Alex, Lennox Chance, those guys, one thing when I moved back up down here from upstate, those guys all what made this place so special to me, like I said, I kind of learned in reverse. I was fighting before I was learning a lot, and these guys, they're really good. They teach, it reminded me of wrestling that you learn the fundamentals. Mm-hmm. So you learn, before you learn any flash or anything, any of the cool, you got to learn the fun. You got to learn how to pressure a guy in side control, how to pass the guard, how to do those things. And, we did it a bazillion times, and it was hard to humble myself, take myself down, and do those basic things. But now, it polished me up, and I feel really confident going forward. Lennox Chance getting ready to fight in Glory. One of the best partners I ever had, my whole career. This guy, he sharpened me up so much. We'll go in there. There's no ego, no nothing. We'll, give each other 10 rounds, but high volume, low intensity, good, beneficial rounds, just making each other better. And all those fights I had, it was him. I feel like those spars and stuff that just got me relaxed in the cage again, just really poised, relaxed, confident, and I think I started to see the result of that, my past 2 fights. So I really thank those guys a lot.
Very nice. Now, what can everybody look out for you with this year? What do you have going on coming up, or anything kind of waiting in the wings? Or are you just gonna drop it when it comes, when it comes time?
Well, right now, I'm getting ready. I think it actually came in today, but I'm getting ready to sign a contract for Ring of Combat coming up in September.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I don't know too much about the opponent yet, but I know he's tough. And like I said, we're in a tough-ass area, a lot of tough gyms, so I'm not taking anybody for granted. But, you know, I want to go out there, perform. I want to be electric. You know, I'm 32, so I need to do big things now and get back in the good graces of some of these good promotions so that when they come around, they get to – I want to fight in my backyard. I want my people, the guys out, these – guys getting on the track. I want those guys at my fight. I want to wave my union flag. That's what I want, man. That's my dream. And, you know, all I could say is, you know, I'll put on an exciting show for you. I'm ready. You know, I'm ready. I know Bellator, it was the last one at MSG. I would love that if they come back and I could get on there. I know they had a guy, you know, 245s. They had Chinzo and James Gallagher. He had that huge Irish following. Yep. You know, I'm a big fan of WFAN, Boomer and Carton Show.
Yes,
Joe and Evan Beningo. You know, Francesca. You know, even though I feel like he's a Jets and Mets hater. You know, he likes to. You know, I don't bother calling. He'll click me, you know, right away. But man, the guy's really sharp, man. He's really smart, and I love listening to all of them. But yeah, I'd love to. I just want to fight here. You know, get me on a card. I know the Gallagher. I watch MSG Network. The Irish following here. The John Duddy guy. They play him like he's Muhammad Ali or something. You know, there's just a huge following. So I think it would be really cool. It seems like Bellator's grooming the Gallagher kid. Hey man, you know what I mean? I'm seasoned.
Is this a call out?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
We're calling him out.
Yeah, I'd love to get a fight with that guy. He's, you know, good guy, tough opponent, but yeah, let's take it up a notch for it. You know what I mean? Groom him right here. Groom him with me. I'd like it. Yeah, we could do that.
We want to see Kenny
we could do that.
In New York, damn it.
Yeah, please. Get me in the garden. Get me in one of these big venues in my backyard. Let me do my thing.
And Kenny, where can everybody find you on social media?
I'm on Facebook. You know, that's you know, Facebook's kind of my only stomping ground. That's where I do my work at. But yeah, I know everybody. You got to get the Instagram, you know. But yeah, I'll definitely do the Instagram thing soon. Let me get this other fight under my belt, do whatever, and yeah. But look out for me, you know. I'm coming back, and yeah, I'm ready to do this. Ready to do this coming up.
Awesome, Kenny. Thank you so much for interviewing.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you for taking time. I really appreciate it. I will be at your fight, and you know, we'll do another interview before or after. Get you some.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, Kerry.
Thank you so much, Kenny. And guys, thank you for watching. And check out MaxumBJJ. They got some great fighters, great fights coming up. And do check out Kenny's next fight. I will have it all on my social media so you guys can find out.